has the highest COVID-19 mortality rate in Asia, hovering at around 8 to 9%. Indonesia also has the most number of coronavirus deaths in the region, second only to China.
To be honest, the government's early response of their tackling of the COVID-19 pandemic has been substandard from the very beginning. If you recall earlier in the year when China, when South Korea, Singapore, countries around the region started declaring their coronavirus counts, Indonesia was still very much in denial about how many cases they had. They even declared that they didn't have any COVID-19 cases well until early March.
Indonesia has been ramping up its fight against COVID-19. But there's concern that the move may have come too little, too late. Does Indonesia, a country known for its inadequate medical infrastructure, have the resources to handle the rising number of patients?
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to say thank you for coming in our presentation. It's great to see you all. On this occasion, we from Group 1 will present our presentation on the policy of the immigration system during the COVID-19 pandemic. Before we begin our presentation, let me introduce myself and my partner. My name is I am Kristian Mangatur Sagala, and 5 of my other partner are Chaidir Aswar, Ibra Muhammad, Arka Feryasa, Ananda, Anjasmara, and Badai Yogyaswara. We are from Group 1. And now, let me begin with a question. How can government system around the world work after the COVID-19 pandemic? Will policies in each country remain or change as the virus spreads? Of course, we will definitely be wondering how a country can handle the spread of the virus, which of course disperses various kinds of the government system, especially immigration in guarding the exit and entry of foreign citizens, which is a potential spread of the virus. In this presentation, we take a focus on Indonesia itself, which is one of the providers of free visit visas and has designed several regulations which are expected to function to maintain the stability of law enforcement for salaried citizens on Indonesian citizens. Because the policy change in the immigration sector is a matter of which is important, because if not, it will spread the virus as well as threaten the country's sovereignty. And the next, my partner Badai.
Thank you. Next. Furthermore, apart from Indonesia, since the beginning of 2020, several countries have started to take preventive steps to prevent the entry of COVID-19, especially countries in the South Asia region. Not only health authorities, apart from health authorities, one of the giants that also plays an important role in handling COVID-19 is immigration. As it is known that COVID-19 spreads through humans. Therefore, immigration plays a role as the front line in dealing with the entry of foreigners into Indonesian territory. The Indonesian government, in this case, the Directorate General of Immigration, continues to make efforts to prevent the massive spreads of COVID-19, as immigration is a manifestation of the enforcement of sovereignty over Indonesian territory. Therefore, the importance of steps taken by the government in optimizing the function of immigration, especially at this time related to the function of state security, as an effort to prevent the COVID-19 outbreak. This will also change the paradigm that exists in society that immigration is not just talking about visas and passports. The following are various policies related to restricting the crossing of foreigners into Indonesian territory. Next slide. The Indonesian government, in this case the Directorate General of Immigration, continues to make effort to prevent the massive spread of COVID-19, as immigration is a manifestation of enforcing sovereignty over Indonesian territory. So, the importance of steps taken by the government in optimizing the function of immigration, especially at this time related to the function of state security as an effort to prevent the COVID-19 outbreak. This will also change the existing paradigm in society that immigration is not just talking about visas and passports. The following are various policies related to restricting the crossing of foreigners into Indonesian territory. Next, Chaidir.
Okay, thank you, Badai. I will continue this presentation. Furthermore, since the beginning of the 2020, the crossing of foreigners in Indonesia is still running normally, as usual with the BVK or free visit visa and visa visit on arrival. Where in the report of the Minister of Law and Human Rights at the joint meeting of Commission 3 of the DPR RI, it was noted that the number of tourists from various countries visit Indonesia, especially the PRC or People Republic of China, totaling 188,000 people until early February. The Ministry of Law and Human Rights has issued Regulation Number 3 of 2020 concerning temporary cessation of visit visa-free visas and granting forced stay permit for Chinese citizens. The regulation in Permenkumham Number 3, 2020. Then, during the enactment of this rule, as many as 118 foreigners were refused entry and 2,643 Chinese nationals were forced to obtain residence permit because they could not return to the country, which were closed due to the spread of the increasingly widespread epidemic. In implementing this policy, the government continued to carry out evaluation until the end of February. The government again issued regulation of the Ministry of Law and Human Rights Number 7 of 2020 concerning granting of visa and stay permit in effort to prevent the entry of coronavirus. The regulation in Permenkumham Number 7, 2020, and the enactment of Permenkumham Number 7 of 2020 consists of 10 articles, which essentially limit the granting of visa and residence permit of foreign citizens. Next. It will continue with Arka.
Thank you, Chaidir. I will continue this presentation. Now, let's take a look at the period of February to March, where on March 20, the granting of free visitor visa and visitor visa on arrival was temporarily suspended. This policy was later published in Permenkumham Number 8, 2020. The temporary suspension of granting free visit visa is imposed on foreign regime of visit visa free as stated in attachment to Presidential Regulation Number 21 of 2016 concerning free visit visa. Next, Anjas.
Thank you, Arka. Then, at the end of the March, the President held a meeting with the Cabinet and decided of large-scale restoration. This also has an impact on the flow of traffic that enter foreigner into Indonesia, where as of 2 April, the government issued a regulation prohibiting foreign national from entering or transiting Indonesia territory. This provision is start in the regulation of the Minister of Law and Human Rights number 11 of 2020 or Permenkumham nomor 11 tahun 2020. Considering the temporary population of foreigners in the Indonesia territory, this is population of entry of transit rules has expectation of number of foreigners among that are those who have a limit stay permit card or KITAS, permanent resident permit card or KITAP, diplomatic resident permit, and officially resident permit holders. At the times, a circular letter regarding the temporary prohibition of foreigners for entering the territory of Indonesia was also issued and continue on May 6 with the explanation of the circular which considered the producer for granting entry permit for holder of ITAS, ITAP, IMK, visa approval expired. Next, Ibra.
Thank you, Anjas. Based on some of the policy dynamics above, this indicates that the policy of crossing foreigners in Indonesia has undergone several changes during the COVID-19 pandemic. Starting from international doors that remain open, selective and control policies to closing and prohibiting foreigners from entering and transiting in Indonesian territory. In conclusion, in essence, immigration is a manifestation of the implementation of the country's territorial sovereignty. Therefore, a sovereign state has the right to accept or reject the arrival of foreigners. That is the case. Indonesia has issued several policies or changes that are quite different due to the pandemic. However, even so, all matters relating to the interests of the state must continue as they should. Thank you. Next, Dio.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is our presentation. But before we finish this presentation, does anyone have any question or comment? Okay, clear. Thank you. And that brings us to the end of the presentation. It's been a great discussion with you all. We don't feel like we are the one who present something, but we all did. Thank you very much for your great attention and active participation throughout this presentation. Okay, thank you.